Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nini and today we're doing another sketchbook session. So this is a continuation of my environmental design series where I'm drawing environments in my sketchbook, or just in general. But if you like this content, please consider subscribing and let's go ahead and get started. So like I said before, this is a part of my environmental design series, slash environmental studies series. If you don't know, I'm trying to get better at environments, and the only way to do that is to actually draw them. So for this spread, I did 4 environments actually, and I think 3 of them are based off of requests that I got off of YouTube, which thank you guys so much for giving me requests for this video. So I already went ahead and sketched off camera because I feel like the sketching part takes the longest and I don't really want to edit all of that. So I used my Prismacolor color erase pencils to sketch initially, and then I went over it with my ballpoint pen because I learned my lesson from the last time I used gouache, in that the gouache will actually wash away the Prismacolor pencil marks, so you need a darker kind of line art. And the line art will disappear anyway since I'm using gouache to paint over it. Yeah. So this first sketch was a request from, I think I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, I think it's Schnitz Dubs on YouTube. Forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. But their request was to draw a snowy mountain or a snowy forest. And so I drew kind of both. At first, I wasn't very happy with it, like usual. I'm always not very proud of it while I'm doing it. But in the end, I think it looks kind of nice. I think that the mountains kind of need a little bit more work, but I think that the trees turned out very good. And I think that's because I had actually made a few tree paintings, like a few tree oil paintings for my directed studies class, which I still need to make a video about my exhibition, so look forward to that. But yeah, I think that the trees turned out very good. Oh, and I also used just one brush for the entire spread. It's the flat brush from the Hani gouache set. That's the kind of gouache that I'm using for this. Yeah. So a bit different from the last environmental design video, I'm not using references at all for this spread. All of this comes from my imagination, because I consider this video to be episode 1 of my environmental design slash studies series. So I want to kind of make a comparison from now and from the future, to see how much I improved. I think I'm kind of good at drawing from imagination, but I feel like my visual library, is still very small, so I would like to do a few studies to get better at it. It was a little bit weird doing this spread because I didn't add any kind of magical elements to it, which is something that I usually do, especially when I'm trying to do a full illustration with a background and all that kind of stuff, because my story has fantastical elements in it. But I think it was kind of refreshing too, to just draw a landscape, maybe. So I think it was at this part that it kind of sold it for me for this sketch, adding the pink to the snow tops of the mountains and the sky in the background. I think that really kind of brought it all together. So there's not just cool colors, it actually has a range of warm to cool. But I did have a little bit of difficulty with making the peaks of the mountains a bit more detailed, but also trying to make it seem like they're in the distance too, if that makes sense. So you'll see me going over the mountains with some blue gouache to try to make it recede into the distance. I also had a little bit of trouble with trees too, or the green leafy part of the trees, of the pine trees. I don't think I've actually gone into detail into the leaves before, except in my one oil painting for my directed studies class. But yeah, I think that the biggest challenge with this piece was the illusion of distance. And I know that I made the trees in the foreground super detailed, but it was a bit difficult to convey the snow on the mountains and like making it seem like a mountain. Because like, you know, I've done like Bob Ross tutorials and I know how to paint a mountain, or I used to know how to paint a mountain, but now it's kind of lost on me. So I'll probably have to do a few mountain studies. But yeah. So I actually think that this sketch took the longest out of all 4 of them, probably because I kept making the trees darker and trying to like fix the mountains. But I'm still pretty happy with how this sketch turned out. Oh, and also I added a little bunny to the bottom right of the sketch, just to add like a sense of scale for the trees. But yeah, I really like how this sketch turned out, actually seeing it in the future. But yeah, I think that more mountain studies will be in my future. So no one really requested this next one. It kind of just popped into my mind. I really just wanted to draw like a cliff overlooking the sea, like the ocean. And at first I was going to draw a windmill, but then I changed my mind to have it like a lighthouse since it's over the ocean. But yeah. I kind of wish that I had done like a sunset colors for this sketch, because there's a lot of blue in this spread, especially for the next sketch. So yeah, I wish there was more variety with these sketches. But yeah, I think the most difficult part was actually painting this cliff face, because I don't really paint rocks and stuff, or like dirt, so this was a very interesting process for me. And you know, because I was using like a super big brush, even though it was a flat brush, I couldn't get very detailed with the grass. Oh, also, the first sketch took about an hour. The rest of the sketches took about 30 to 40 minutes. So I didn't want to stress myself too much with these sketches. So I didn't get too detailed with the rest of the sketches. But yeah. Looking back at it now, it kind of looks like Minecraft blocks, like the dirt blocks. I didn't mean to do that. I definitely need to do more grass studies in the future. I think that my favorite part of this sketch was actually painting the water. It looks so pretty. I think that I'm really good at painting water, apparently. Especially with my directed studies paintings. I really need to get on that video. But yeah, I really loved this, and it's such a pretty blue too. Yeah. I think that I probably should have spent a bit more time figuring out which direction the light was coming from, because I think that would have determined how I would have painted the dirt bits underneath the grass. And I probably should have used a bigger variety of colors, not just brown and light brown and dark brown, but maybe some gray in there too, and maybe some blue, you know. But like I said before, probably had to do more studies of cliff faces and that kind of stuff. I really do wish that I had actually painted this during like the sunset or even at night, because I feel like I would have been able to do a lot more with the lighthouse. It's just kind of there in this sketch, but maybe I'll just do that next time. So I guess I'll take this time to ask, how are you guys doing? This summer has been pretty slow for me. I've been doing a lot of work, but it's just like I need to get out of the house and, move around a bit. And I've been in the process of making stickers. I did a stream the other day designing stickers, so if you want to watch that, then go ahead. It's I think it's almost 6 hours long, but yeah. And also, if you would like to support me, I have commissions open on Ko-fi. And if you don't need to buy a commission, then you can donate if you would like. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to save up to get a mic so I can interact with you guys some more during streams. So thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you're having a good summer. I know that there's a hurricane going on, but I hope that you guys are safe and sound and taking care of yourselves. So as you can see, I'm really trying so hard to get this grass to a point where I liked, but eventually I just gave up on it and decided to focus on the lighthouse and making the sky look a bit better. And of course, this is my favorite part, adding the highlights. It always brings the whole piece together, especially with water. It looks so pretty. Yeah. So because it's at the beach, you have to draw those little birds. At first I was going to do it with some black paint, but it didn't really match with the overall aesthetic of the piece, so I went over and drew them with white paint. I really like how this sketch turned out. I'll probably draw it or paint it again some other time, maybe with oil painting or with oil paint. Yeah. So this next sketch was actually requested by a few people here on YouTube, and it was for a lake or river scene. So I kind of based it off of my Mongol gouache painting, except without any characters or magical elements or any of that. But I don't know if I like that I used a monochromatic blue or analogous blue color scheme, but this water looks so pretty, so I'm not too mad about it. Yeah. So a bit different from the other two paintings, I went ahead and covered the whole sketch with a light wash of blue gouache, and because I didn't do it for the other two spreads because I was afraid that the gouache would or the water would mess up the paper or bleed onto the other sketches on the back of the paper, because I have some cute pen sketches and I really don't want them to bleed. But luckily it didn't happen, so I decided to be a bit more adventurous and go ahead and do a light wash of blue. But yeah, I did a whole bunch of different funky looking trees. If you know me, I love drawing weirdly shaped trees. It's one of my favorite things to paint, and it's also something that I did in my directed studies class. But yeah, I think that I should have had more variety with the different colors that I used. It just looks blue. It's just blue. I wish that I had spent a bit more time on this one. I think I only spent 30 minutes on this because I was feeling a bit tired. I did all of these in the same day, by the way. I think it took 4 hours for this whole spread, or maybe more like 3.5, since the first one took an hour. Excuse me. And the last three took about 40 minutes, maybe. But I think the last one took a bit longer than this one. But yeah. So I probably shouldn't have used just pure black here. I think I probably should have mixed it with blue or purple. And I didn't fix it at all, which is kind of weird of me. But then again, I was going pretty fast with this sketch. I feel like I wanted to mainly focus on the tree in the foreground. I'm not really happy with how it looks. But then again, once again, I was going pretty fast with this one. I'm also not really happy with how the grass looks, again. I think that I need to find a way to render the grass in a style that I like. Because there's different styles of like drawing grass and like trees and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like I need to find my own style with that. Which is why I'm doing this series. I kind of wish that I'd like added a beam of light coming down from the treetops to like justify why there's light in the middle of the lake. But that is an idea for a future video maybe. The highlights kind of made the grass look better, but it's still not very great. I tried to do more with the grass in the foreground, but it's alright. And once again, I used black to color up that spot, but I don't know why I didn't come back to it and like use a blue, because it really stands out. But I guess you can kind of just think of it as part of the tree. I don't usually use black to do shades or shadows or anything, because I feel like it's doesn't really match with any of the other colors, so I usually use a blue or a purple to do shadows. And once again, these highlights are kind of saving this sketch for me. And at the very end, I added a few bits of grass poking up from the water. Overall, I'm kind of happy with the sketch. I feel like I could do better, which is the point. I'm trying to improve. Yeah. So this next sketch was a request by Fallow Spots, I think, on YouTube. And they wanted me to draw an overgrown path leading to an abandoned house. I think that this was actually my favorite sketch out of all of them, because I haven't drawn like a sunny day in a long time, which maybe that says something about me or my mental health. But I really had so much fun with this, because I don't, like I said in my last environmental video, which if you haven't watched it, you should definitely go watch it. It's a pretty good video. I don't usually use green So this was definitely a breath of fresh air for me. And once again, I covered the whole sketch with a light wash of yellow gouache. And then I went over with the grass, which was so pretty. The colors are so pretty. And I decided to have like tall trees in this one too. Like I said before, I really love drawing trees. But yeah, it was, I wanted to draw a path leading to an abandoned house, and it's like in front of a forest of giant trees. I forget what these trees are called. Are they called sycamore trees? I forget. But they're super big, and I wanted it to be like playing with scale in this sketch. And once again, I had a whole bunch of fun painting these trees. I think that I also just really liked the contrast between the brown and the greens. I think it's such a pretty color palette. But I also added a few flowers to the overgrown grass on the sides of the path, which I think were so cute. I didn't go too into detail with them, but I still think that they're kind of cute. And I added some like grass growing over the house, but I think it kind of got lost in the details. But I still think that this is my favorite sketch out of all of them. So I kind of wanted to keep with the color palette, and so I added some orange flowers, and they look so cute. This kind of makes me want to do some flower studies in the future. Compared to the first sketch, I definitely think this one has a better sense of distance, especially with the path winding your eye to the house. So that might contribute to why I like this one the most. So I tried to add more grass to the dirt road, but it kind of got lost because of how dark the shadow is. And of course I had to go back and make the trees look better, but I think that's the end of the sketch. I hope that you guys liked the video. If you have any suggestions for the next one, of what I should draw next, please leave a comment below. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.